Right, the Western Cape Department of Agriculture is calling for the approval of a new bill to empower intervention and safeguard animal welfare in live export. The MEC's decision follows the discovery of 19,000 live cattle on board an export vessel which docked in Cape Town harbour from Brazil en route to Iraq on Sunday night. Now, this vessel, which departed on Wednesday morning, caused quite a stir in Cape Town due to the pungent smell emanating from it. Western Cape Agriculture MEC Dr Ivan Meyer now joins us to discuss more about this. Dr. Meyer, thank you so much for your time. The appalling conditions endured by this cattle really did cause a stir, and besides the pungent smell, it's really led you now to consider some sort of legislation which will protect animals. Talk to us about that.
Yes, thank you for this opportunity. Yes, this ship, our Kuwait, they were carrying about 90,000 live cattle from Brazil, came to the Western Cape, in Cape Town, to the harbour to load some feed for the cattle on the route from Brazil to Iraq, and it is causing a major stir here in the Western Cape. And so for us in the Western Cape, we believe that we need those particular powers, and that's why I've made personally written submissions to the ad hoc committee that deal with the Western Cape Power. We have tabled a powers bill, and one of the powers that we want to be devolved to the Western Cape is the power of veterinary services and animal health and animal control. Because what has happened here recently in Cape Town caused a major stir, and we certainly do not want a similar situation here in the Western Cape, because we value and appreciate, and one of my strategic priorities for this financial year is the protection of animal health and animal welfare. So my view is that we need now to ban shipping containers from other countries to enter our harbours for 3 reasons. Number one, we want to protect animal health here in the Western Cape. Secondly, we want to protect biosecurity measures. And thirdly, very importantly, we want to prevent the suffering of animals, live animals at sea. So that's the major reason. We believe that the Constitution makes provision for the devolution of powers, or the decentralization of powers from the national government to the provincial government. And in future, I do not want to see a similar situation happening here in Cape Town, where the Transnet Port Authority have given permission for the shipping container to dock in Cape Town. I want to prevent this from happening in future.
What sort of framework will this now do and have when it comes to the export relations, the trade and export relations?
Well, for us, very importantly, the Western Cape Powers Bill asks for the devolution of a number of functions. One is trade. Secondly, it's harbours. Thirdly, it is exports. Fourth, it is policing and public transport. So we believe in creating economic growth in the Western Cape. We have just approved economic growth strategy. In terms of the growth for job strategy, we want to create a 1 trillion rand economy. And to create a 1 trillion rand economy, one of the key focus areas is exports. Well, I have a task to increase exports here in the Western Cape by 5%, because export by 5% will generate 19,000 new jobs here in the Western Cape. So exports are critical, is very vital. But I have to protect the industry, I have to protect animal health, I have to protect the welfare of animals. And what the SPCA has found was that certainly the protocols for the export of livestock from Brazil to Cape Town en route to Iraq has not been on the acceptable international standards. And that's why this morning I wrote a letter to the National Minister, Toko Dudeza, to ask her, because that department nationally and the Transnet Ports Authority, they have given permission for the shipping container to dock in Cape Town. I have written a letter this morning to her to ask her to please alert me before any shipping containers carrying livestock to dock in Cape Town here in the Western Cape, because my job is to protect biosecurity, and I can only do that once I know which shipping containers from abroad are coming into our international waters here in Cape Town.
Perhaps expand a little bit on what the SPCA found quite alarming as they made their observation.
Well, firstly, the SPCA went to court and got an interdict to go onto the vessel. And once they went onto the vessel, they found 3 dead animals, and they also had to take out another 8 cows on the vessel. I've been to the harbour myself. Obviously, I have not been on to the ship because I think we need to respect international biosecurity measures. And it's definitely unacceptable conditions according to the SPCA.